greatest common factor. I can find greatest common factor.
Good. And GCF means greatest common factor, right? I'm totally cool with you writing GCF for greatest common factor. So, a greatest common factor. The largest number that two numbers have in common. The largest number that two numbers have in common. Remember, this is key. Are factors bigger or smaller than the given? Smaller, but they also can be equal to, right? Okay. The cheat sheet is a thinker, I think. The cheat sheet is a thinker. If you are comparing two numbers, and trying to find the GCF is always going to be the same or less than the smallest number. It's going to be the same or less than the smallest number. It can't be any bigger than the smallest number because factors are always the same or less, right? Right? To find GCF, we have a very specific thing that we do. We do what we did in our last lesson. We find all factor pairs, and then we cross off the ones that aren't in common, and we circle the ones that are in common. So if you look at 12 and 16, we found all of the factors for 12 and all of the factors of 16 using our factor pair list. And we circled the ones that had each other in common. So for example, is 1 a factor of 12 and 16? Yes or no? Yes, so we circle it. Is 3 a factor of 12 and 16?
No.
So we cross it off, and so on and so forth. You get the idea, right? Ultimately, when we were all done then, we had to find the biggest number that was circled in both spots. And what was the biggest number circled in both spots? Letter B is the same exact thing, just with two different numbers. We found all the factors of 36, all the factors of 81. We used our system of finding factors. We crossed off the ones that weren't in common, and we circled the ones that were. 9 is the greatest common factor. C seems tricky, but it's not. We asked you to find the greatest common factor of 3 numbers. We asked you to find the greatest common factor of 3 numbers. You circled the ones that were in common, and you cross off the ones that were not. Now, question though. It looks like 12 has a common, or has a factor of 6, and 24 has a factor of 6. Does 16 have a factor of 6?
No.
So is this a common factor for all 3 of them?
No.
No, it's only a common factor for 2 of the 3, and since we're asking for a common factor of all 3, you need to cross it off. Questions?